The Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to an exclusive subscriber edition of the Chaser Report with Dom and Charles. This is Dom with a special unedited version of our talkback session. Yes, lots of people jumped on the call to talk about how fucked the world is. Last week it was enormously fun and thanks to all who took part. We thought we'd put the entire unedited thing up as a subscriber-only bonus. What do you reckon? Give us your feedback. podcast@chaser.com.au as always. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy it. We'll do it again soon.
Hello, Shane. You're on air with the Chaser Report. How are you?
Great. Very good. Thanks, Charles and Dom.
Welcome. Our first caller for this bizarre talkback via Zoom experiment. Have you been on talkback radio before?
I think I might have spoken to Ray Hadley in the past.
Oh, now, so do you want us to say something incredibly racist? Would that help?
Make me feel more comfortable for sure.
Oh, someone's got a phone call in the background.
Oh, so Shane, the topic today, what was our topic? I can't remember.
Is everything fucked, isn't it?
Is everything fucked? What's your perspective on that?
I would agree with what you guys say. I think things are pretty fucked.
In your own life, Shane, are there any examples for or against the notion that everything is terrible?
I'm pretty much the same age as you, gentlemen, and same thing. Home ownership is seemingly out of reach for people of our generation. A lot of us, and so people younger than us. I've got kids, and it's pretty hard to imagine that they are going to be able to climb out of this hole that the vast majority of us find ourselves in.
Have you thought of moving somewhere terrible?
Well, funny you say that. I last year moved from Sydney up to Queensland. So.
There you go. Yeah. That's not all the way terrible. That's only a couple of degrees. It gets worse. Sammy Shah, our good friend, when he migrated to Australia from Pakistan, he had to go and live in a place called Northam, which is rural Western Australia.
Yeah.
Amazingly, he's stuck with living in Australia. I think due to the relative lack of bombings. But other than that, I mean, you could go to Northam, Shane. I hear it. Sammy pretends it's very nice.
No, I think I'll stick with the Gold Coast where I currently am.
The Gold, you
oh my God,
about the Gold Coast?
Yeah.
Don't you just live in a sort of constant haze of strippers and partying? Isn't that what the Gold Coast? I've never been there.
It's a big area. It covers a lot of space, so it's not all surfers paradise. But the Gold Coast, the weather's much nicer up here. I haven't had a much nicer winter experience than my last 40 winters in Sydney.
That's good. Well, we'll get to everyone else who's waiting on the call, by the way, in a few moments. Welcome to the talk back. We're pleasantly surprised that so many of you are willing to take part in this. So Shane, if we did a live show at the Gold Coast, let's say we wanted the full Gold Coast experience, including potentially being mugged and waking up in a gutter, having taken some bizarre substances. Talk us through the night. Where would we go? What would our itinerary be?
Well, I've only been up here less than a year, but so far Southport seems to be the place that Bill.
All right.
Okay. So is that where we should start the night? Like start the podcast, and then do we slip sort of drugs into everyone's drinks on arrival, or how does it work?
I think that's probably going to already happen. I think
at
probably
the
a
airport.
lot like the sort of rap that the Central Coast has, the same sort of vibe.
Wow, the Sunny Coast with skyscrapers. That's quite a heady brew. I'm thinking there. Do they still have? I remember reading about the meter maids and being astonished that actually was a thing in Australia in not just 2023, but actually in the 2000s at all. I think women on roller skates who put money in your parking meter for you. Is that still a thing on the Gold Coast? Surfers?
No, the parking meters. When we went to Surfers Paradise Beach, the parking meters are all just pay with your phone or tap and go now. So they don't accept the meter maids coins anymore.
Well, see, that's the real reason why the world is so fucked.
Yeah, demeaning jobs for women of just disappearing left, right, and centre. All right, well, Shane, I think by reinventing your life to end up on the Gold Coast, it's a pretty solid vote for everything being fucked. Thank you for joining us. Feel free to stick around on mute.
Yes.
Now, next up, I think we have A. Parker. A. Parker, welcome.
Hello. Nice to finally chat.
Welcome aboard. Now, the question we're asking, this is really scientific research, isn't it, Charles? Is everything fucked? Yes or no? And please justify. A lot of people who've emailed us about this, and there have been quite a few now, have cited academic references, which is...
no, we don't want that.
I mean, impressive, but also, have they not heard the podcast? We don't do academic references here. Half-baked opinions is more our style. What do you think?
I have to agree. Yep, it's fucked. I'm about the same age as you guys
Again.
So yeah, this is
It is turning into a support group. I'm here for that. I think that's great. What in your life makes you say that that's the case?
I'm unfortunate enough to run a small business in just slightly south of Sydney, and it has been a bad time. But
You don't have
the
them
world's cooking on one side, the ice is melting.
Do you, in your business, do you sell terrible merchandise that no one wants to buy? Because I can
haven't
relate
got any
to that.
avocado lounges yet.
I love that everyone knows that these things exist. Like the awareness of the avocado pool toy is enormous.
You think that with awareness would come sales?
No,
no.
I think with awareness comes understanding of why they don't sell. So what's your business?
Do you get the impression that we're heading into a recession? Like, has your business sort of gone off the?
Yeah. I mean, we sell burgers and beers, and
the most resistant, surely the most resistant product usually possible.
Yeah, I would have thought so, but there's less and less around at the moment, I guess.
Now, if we were on the ABC, we wouldn't.
They don't have.
If we were on the ABC, we would ask you not to plug your own business. But this is podcasting. We've got about 6 other people listening. Do you want to plug your? Maybe people can go down and help you out.
Well, I think at least one of you has actually been to this business. It might have been an ABC afternoon party with Robbie Buck and Wendy Harmer that one of you attended at the Hive Bar a couple of years ago.
Oh, the Hive Bar! I love the Hive Bar. That was wonderful. Don't tell me the Hive Bar's doing. If the Hive Bar's not making money, then we're all doomed.
Yeah.
In Erskineville. That's brilliant. I love the Hive Bar.
Oh, excellent. Well, tell all your friends. Bring them down.
During the darkest days of lockdown, I think I had to go to Echo with my pet or something, and I got a burger through the window of your bar, and it honestly made my week. It was pretty much the only human contact I had, other than with the vet, about my dog vomiting everywhere. and it was just a brief moment of just actual happiness in a shit month and a shit year.
Well, that's good. Maybe things aren't as fucked.
No, they are. No, they really are. Yeah, and actually, Dom being made happy makes the world even fuckter, really,
That's not a good
if you
thing.
think about it.
Thank you, Charles. All right, so there you go. Well, I can endorse the Hive Bar. It's very, very nice. And we will come down.
I'll do my bit, and I'll buy more beer from now on.
I mean, selling beers and burgers, if that's not happening,
No.
we may as well make Peter Dutton Prime Minister now.
Mind you, burgers are made of cow, and cow is one of the 3 major emitters of carbon in the world.
True.
So in some ways, you are the reason the world is fucked.
This could be true, but you can always hook into a vegan burger as well. We'll share it around.
Yeah, but no one actually buys it. Oh, no, that's what Erskineville.
Yeah. Are we in such dire straits as a planet that we have to have vegan burgers?
Yeah, that's the way the world's fucked.
All right.
Vegan burgers.
Fucked if you do, fucked if you don't. That's the truth of it. Thank you for joining us. Who's next? I think Daniel.
Good afternoon, Charles Dom. How are we?
Hello, welcome.
Hello, Daniel.
What do you think? Fucked or not fucked? The world. This is the most one-sided debate I can remember.
Daniel, why do you think the world is fucked? Or is the world fucked?
Oh, it's absolutely fucked.
Yeah, right, okay.
Dear.
And why?
Actually, no, you know what? We've got to be optimistic. The world's not fucked. I think we're fucked.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. The world survived the dinosaurs.
Yes.
Dinosaurs were fucked, but the world's still around. So
yeah, those dinosaurs were assholes, were they? Absolute assholes.
Yeah.
I'm glad they got extinct.
But I think this is what I was trying to incoherently say the other day, which is we have now reached the Anthropocene, right, where our own actions are the only way to, like, for every action that we make on the planet, like, we're now completely in charge. Like, the only way,
we bought it.
Yeah, we broke it, but and everything is dependent on us sort of continuing, right? But that's actually better that's a reason to be optimistic, because unlike the dinosaurs who had little tiny hands and couldn't do anything with their hands, we've got 4 limbs that actually work and brains that can come up with technology. And
like
so
nuclear weapons.
Maybe the point is...
The only problem I see there is Donald Trump is potentially going to be the next president of America, and he's got really tiny hands.
He's got really tiny hands.
True. He's a dinosaur.
He's a dinosaur.
Listen, if the tiny hands people are in charge, like, well, we're going to have some problems.
Well, you know the only person who can save us from that. There's only one man who can save us. It's King Charles with the sausage fingers. Biggest hands on the planet. He's the man.
There's a guy in Indonesia who's got extraordinarily large hands and feet for his body. He's like 5'6" and he's got 17-inch feet.
I thought you were talking about Tree Man. Do you remember Tree Man?
I don't remember.
There was an extremely insensitive song about Tree Man on the Chaser live show.
Our only hope might be genetically modifying us humans, so we end up like those sausage finger world from Everything Everywhere All at Once, and maybe that way. Our hands are big enough to actually control our own destiny and, make sure we're not proper fucked.
Our future is literally in our hands.
Evolution is the solution here. Gills are the thing we're going to need when the entire every part of the Earth's landmass goes underwater. As long as we have gills, we'll be fine.
I think Kevin Costner's Waterworld is going to look eerily prescient very soon.
All we need is a titanium submersible. We'll be absolutely fine. You said we've got to be optimistic. Can you give us any optimism? There's been no note of optimism at all, really. Can you think of anything that we should be optimistic about?
Well, listen, I think I've just recently heard that there's been an announcement that Albo is meeting Biden. So, once those two, geniuses butt their heads together, I'm sure they'll solve all the world's problems. So,
heavy-handed sarcasm is very good. You should do the official introduction. Yeah. Here's Biden and Albo, the people we've charged with fixing everything. Go, you good thing.
Listen, I guess there's things to be optimistic about. I think, as you said, maybe we're in charge of our own destiny. We're just going to have to kind of create some kind of solution where we can unfuck the world. But however we manage to do that, it's because we've completely fucked it. So we're just going to have these islands of refugees where humans can't go, so we can preserve the world, but we can't go there. So,
okay.
Actually,
that's true. The whole first world should simply not be able to go. So anyone, if you're from Kiribati or something and we've basically destroyed your home, you should get a second shot that we don't get. I think that's more than reasonable.
If we could get to North Sentinel Island, I'm sure they'll give us the solution to our problems.
Yes, that's exactly the way to do it. You just because actually, if you look at the history of people fucking things up, the way it works is all the men run things for decades, and then they put a woman in charge to solve all the problems. So maybe maybe we just need a woman.
And then they just get rid of her after 2 years.
Yeah.
Let's bring back Merkel or Arden.
Oh, yeah.
I thank you very much, Daniel, for your insight
there, boys.
here
Love the show.
on the
Keep up the good
talkback.
work.
Thanks for being with us. This is fun. Someone's texted in that they prefer texting Charles directly to his mobile phone, a far sillier solution.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
A lot of people do that.
If you want to text me direct to my phone, it's 0419 282 188. And that means you can do side comments that Dom can't see.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
right.
so.
To place the blame on them when they fail to clean up their mess. Okay.
That's a good idea, yes.
Let's go to JT. That's JT.
JT.
Unmute, please.
Unmute yourself. I really like this idea. So what you're saying is, even though, like the carbon footprint of somebody living in New York is, I think, something like 99 times larger than the carbon footprint of somebody living in Kenya or something like that. And so, but what you're saying is that we blame the people who weren't responsible.
Yep.
Anyway, like when it all falls
I
over.
know you're being sarcastic, but that's actually definitely what's going to happen.
Well, it's definitely what's going to happen.
JT, welcome.
Salutations. Hello.
Good to have you on board.
So is that your solution?
Actually, I was referring to what you said about having a woman in charge because it's a known phenomenon where they will bring in a female CEO.
Yes.
So that they attempt to clean up the previous male CEO's mess, and then when they inevitably fail to do so, they get blamed and fired.
I love it.
Unceremoniously. But I actually do agree with what you just said as well. That is also something that I struggle with, being a radical lefty myself. And radicals entre guillemets, because obviously in the US, the political spectrum is so fucked up and skewed that the most basic moderate is seen as a radical. But anyway, that's another tangent.
We're due a female president of the United States, surely, at this point, rather than Trump or Biden, to then somehow get impeached halfway through and kicked out, just after 2 years of solid cleaning things up. they'd be the first person actually removed from office through the impeachment process. Who are the leading women? I mean, there are no, as far as I can think of, female candidates.
The problem is all the women.
Nikki Haley's the only one.
All the women
I can think of.
All the women are under 80, so they're not really
eligible.
Yeah, maybe Dianne Feinstein.
Well, they're also
I'm
quite
thinking.
disappointing. I mean, Warren turned out to be quite hawkish, and AOC is also problematic for a number of reasons. So I'm.
Oh, really?
I don't
Is
really like
AOC cancelled?
What did
she do?
Did AOC work on Lizzo's tour? Is that what happened?
No, I remember reading a while back, there were a couple things that troubled me. First off, that she had suddenly stopped helping to campaign for more progressive candidates. She clearly had some kind of conversation with the establishmentarian Democrats, and she was being told to kind of like hold off. I personally have theorized that they may have promised her like a senatorial or presidential run down the line.
They got to her.
So she's keeping her mouth shut.
They
now
got to AOC.
Right. But the other thing is also at one of the previous Met Galas, there was someone who designed her, I think, underwhelming dress. The one that said tax the rich on the back.
Yeah.
And that person was like in all sorts of weird legal trouble for not paying her employees.
Was it made in a sweatshop?
Particularly leftist herself.
Are you telling me that the tax the rich dress was made in a sweatshop? Wow.
Like it was just someone like who was just in a lot of debt, and she was known for like creating some kind of like toxic workplace. Like people weren't getting their paychecks or whatever. I don't remember the exact details, but if you want, I can Google it later when I'm more awake because I'm actually.
We can as well.
It's almost 1:30 here.
All I'm going to say is we don't know that Lizzo wasn't involved. Anyway, where are you, JT?
Oh, I'm in New York.
Oh, wow. International guest.
Yes. See, this is a global phenomenon.
Fan, okay.
What?
But I do not want an avocado fool toy.
How did you?
Why are you here?
Yeah. How possibly did you know about this?
Oh, I've been a huge fan of the Chaser since college. I love you guys.
Were you in Australia for college or something, or did you somehow stumble upon us through the?
Oh no! Although I did actually consider doing an underwater archaeology program in Australia briefly. But anyway, I just you remember like before they were acquired by Google, YouTube was practically the fucking Wild West. So I'm a massive British comedy fan, so it was just a natural progression.
Right.
So
well, I mean, give it 10 years, and I think all archaeology in the Southern Hemisphere will be underwater. So that's so exciting to have someone from the States. Excellent. There you go. You should be president, JT. You should be the president. Why don't you run? Are you 35 yet?
Well, I actually am just old enough now because the minimum age I believe is 35. I'm 36 now,
you
so
and
technically
AOC.
I do qualify. But I also hate politicians, and I also think that
you're with the most Americans.
Yeah,
on that.
You could be the Trump of the Democrats.
Oh God! Oh, don't say that. That's disgusting.
All right, JT. What a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for insult me that way.
Thank you for being. No, we're very grateful. We're baffled but grateful.
Our one American listener has now become a non-listener.
Thank you very much. That's very entertaining. Who was next? I think Ari might be the next person.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
So you're drinking Coke Zero, according to the chat.
Like me. I'm sorry.
I am. It's my coffee break, but it's actually a Coke Zero break.
I'm just mainlining something just to stay awake here. We didn't actually ask JT's vote on the world being fucked, but it sounded like a yes to me. What's your view? We're trying to definitively determine whether the world is fucked or not.
But the one solution, just to key you in, the one solution that we've come up with so far is to put a woman in charge and blame it on her. So do you agree with that?
Okay, excellent. I sacrifice myself as tribute.
Very good. Very good. What would you like to run?
God.
I mean, we have no influence, but we can try.
Yeah, we'll put a word in.
I guess I'll be the Prime Ministeress, and I will lead Australia to. I guess we'll suck up to everybody in the surrounding area, and we will beg for them to let us survive. We will just,
Well, that is actually a more coherent strategy than we've got at the moment as a nation.
Which is something. It beats submarines, I think.
It's best if we lay down like a doormat and allow people to walk all over us, because that way we kind of survive and they're not thinking of us as a threat, but we are still present.
That is actually, in the Second World War, that is actually what the then Prime Minister Robert Menzies proposed, which was the Brisbane line.
Oh, yes.
Because the Japanese were invading Darwin, and his whole strategy, because he wanted to send troops over to France to help defend England and the Allies, didn't really care about his own country. So he proposed that they just cede everything north of Brisbane to the Japanese because there wasn't really anything worth anything up there.
And what a
Imagine how
brilliant
much
plan that is.
Imagine how much development there would have been. There'd be so much more. I mean, Darwin would be a megalopolis by now.
And they'd have those really good toilets, and the trains would be fast and on time.
The trains
Oh my
would be
gosh,
fast.
imagine, yeah,
It's true.
a working public transport system.
Yes.
That's all I could ever ask for.
What a missed opportunity.
We can only dream. So should we call this the Gillard principle, the idea of putting in a woman? Because it used to happen with premiers. I remember they just put women in to fix things. I think Christina Keneally was the end of that model, but until that point.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Somebody in the chat has posted a link to Andrew, I think, in the chat has just posted a link to a Wikipedia entry called The Glass Cliff is what it's called. And it's a hypothesized phenomenon of women being likelier than men to achieve leadership roles, such as executives or, political elections during periods of crisis
Yes.
or downturn when the risk of failure is highest. It's the glass cliff.
Charles, how have you not put a woman in charge of the Chaser?
The Chaser.
We're decades beyond that. That being
So I only recently discovered that women exist. So Oh,
dear God.
Wow, I'm just, it's so special that I could be one of the first women you speak to.
Yeah, this is an amazing moment for Charles.
So Ari, what do you have a solution?
What are we going to do?
Apart from begging for our lives and protection from others and taking no meaningful proactive action ourselves? No, unfortunately not at this time.
Okay.
Could we have a T-shirt that says "Not my fault"?
Oh, absolutely.
That will be your first.
That is actually
job
one of my
as
catchphrases.
Prime Minister. Oh, that is your catchphrase.
Actually, that's amazing. That's an
I've
amazing.
been called out numerous times
for any
shifting blame.
You must be really good at relationships, I reckon.
Oh,
for any female campaign. We didn't do it. It was the man. Oh, it's just true.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh,
All right,
God.
Ari, thank you very much. Thank you. Next we have is it who's been put in the chat if you've been waiting along. I think it might be Nelson.
Nelson, what's your solution?
What's your vote? Are we fucked or not?
Are we fucked or not?
I actually, because I'm a pessimist, but I'm a learned optimist. I think that I don't think the world is fucked, if we're allowed to say that.
You are. It's a podcast.
I'm being serious, so you can make fun of me.
That's all right.
I actually think that the reason why the world seems to be on the journey to being fucked is a bit like a person that's going through psychotherapy. And part of psychotherapy is actually that you kind of dig inside and you get all the dirt out and that kind of stuff. And I think that technology has actually meant that we are exposed to all of those shit fuckery, as Juice would have it, that has always been happening, but finally we're actually starting to find out about it.
We've woken up.
Horrible.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
we've woken up.
So is this the point in the story, the sort of nadir, the dark, what do they call it, the dark age of the soul or whatever it is, the dark night of the soul, where things are so bad that we wake up full of fresh hope and optimism and are able to know what we have to do to win.
Yeah,
narrative theory.
You can't fix things if you don't know they're going on.
Yeah, we're at the end of Act 2. Everything seems completely hopeless.
Yes.
All our plans.
Yeah. We're in that. In classic, tragedy versus comedy. We're in that kind of uptick at the end type thing.
I think that is an amazing theory. I love it. There is absolutely no evidence that it's true.
Yes, and also
no, exactly. That's. I've done extensive research just thinking about it for a few minutes.
So, what do you think we need to do? What's the step we're going to take when we wake up and full of resolve and verve?
I actually just agree with Harry. I've often, my mum was a major feminist, and so I've always said, why don't we just put the women in charge and let them have a go for a couple of decades and see how we go?
Yes, let's Handmaid's Tale it.
Except, hang on, I think you might have misread that book. Except for AOC, who apparently we've cancelled. Which is that's a massive call. The sort of most prominent female leader in the United States by JT, who is from New York.
We just cancelled her.
She's been cancelled
about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, I didn't. I came late. I didn't.
JT, another American who goes by their initials, has said that AOC's no good. The dress was made in a sweatshop and she's not helping. She's pulling the ladder out from under her is what she's doing. She's not helping other candidates of the far left succeed and thrive.
Oh, dear.
You know what? Maybe she's looking at the success of Albo and going, I could be Anthony Albanese.
Yes, that's what she is. The whole world's looking at Albo and going, he got elected.
Well, come on, we're not the only country to basically have elected leaders based on which is the least worst choice.
That's true. That's a standard election these days. Although I will say, if you go to the Marrickville bathrooms at Marrickville Metro, the new renovation there, and you look, I think it's the women's toilets. There's a massive mosaic tile portrait of Hot Albo from his youth, and you can just think, gosh, he's really let himself go. Oh, well, Nelson, look, I feel I don't have any evidence that things are going to get better, but I at least have a theory.
But Nelson, I would note that your theory is based entirely on the narrative structure of fiction. Like movies have an act 2 at the end where everything's and then they come up with a solution. But that's an entirely fictional thing to happen. And part of the reason why we watch fiction is because it's not true, right? Like, because in truth, it just keeps going shit. Like, things are most shit, and then they get worse.
But no, that isn't life just like art in the sense that it's just an ever-connecting series of comedies and tragedies and just a wavy line.
Perhaps. And look, the thing is, innovation may get us out of this. There's also a great history of innovation fixing problems for humanity at the last minute. For instance, yesterday we didn't know that the Chaser Report would work via Zoom, and look at what technology's delivered to us. This extraordinary conversation.
It's a red letter day.
Fine people such as yourself, Nelson. It's been delightful having you on board Zoom.
Thanks having me, guys. Good to see you too.
Well, nice to have you on board. From our bizarre curtain that Charles erected behind us. Andrew, I think you're the final caller on the Zoom. Welcome.
Yeah. Hello.
Thanks for persisting throughout the chat so far. What do you think, fucked or not fucked?
Very much fucked.
Oh, there you go.
We've got a full set. Though.
Sorry, what did you say?
It may still be recoverable, though.
Oh, yeah. How so?
So go on.
Well, I mean, recently with the news of like the room temperature superconductor.
Yes.
Like, advances like that.
Yes.
Could possibly maybe have a path forward for survival.
Yes. And we haven't even talked about cold fusion yet either.
Just for those who didn't hear because of the Zoom, the room temperature superconductor, Charles has been going on about this. Our sweet summer children who think that the South Korean superconductor actually is going to work and solve everything. Well, look, it might, but where am I going to get beryllium, says JT, who's been listening to the podcast avidly. Well done.
Yeah. Do you have a solution, Andrew, to like that? Okay, so the superconductor works. It's the solution to the world's problem, but the first reactor we make, we run out of beryllium, and therefore we go back to square one. Do you have a solution to the world's supply of beryllium?
No, I really don't.
I've just showing Charles a headline here. In fact, I can show all of you because this is
from
Popular Mechanics.
Some breaking news.
Popular Mechanics. The headline is, well, seems like LK99 isn't a room temperature superconductor after all. So, oh well.
Okay, well, on that optimistic note,
as that famous headline said, world is fucked.
Yeah. So, Andrew, can you take us out with a really sort of happy thought? That give us a coherent thought that's happy. It's got to be happy.
Well, I mean, with the way technologies is going, like not necessarily just the superconductor, but like in general, like that could be a path forward.
I love it. The vibe. The vibe of technology is...
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, or destroy everything. That could also happen.
Well, I mean, it's always a risk, right?
Yeah, we're busy just sort of vibing on the vibe, and in the meantime, artificial intelligences are unplugging everything. Anyway, look, it's
actually
better than I had.
It's interesting because there was a therapist on the radio this morning who was saying that, increasingly people are just going to their screens, because the world outside is quite unpleasant. Like the climate itself is very unpleasant. And that actually in like 30 years' time, it may well be seen as just a healthy psychological adaptation to be addicted to your screen.
Yes. Isn't that the Wall-E model?
Yeah.
Or we just all get fat and lie back and look at our screens all day?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. That's all right.
So,
you can buy Andrew's burgers and beer from earlier in the chat.
Yeah. Well, see, there you go. That's a sort of what that is optimistic about just being like, it's very Buddhist, isn't it? Because it's like we're just accepting that the world is fucked, but we don't have to be unhappy about that because actually one thing that we control is our reaction to that.
I know what we can do.
Yeah.
All we need to do is just agree collectively in this chat on behalf of humankind.
Yes.
That if the Matildas win the Women's World Cup,
yes,
the world is good.
Yes.
And there is optimism and there's hope for humanity. If they don't, we're done. It's all over.
Well, this to us. That's it.
Agreed.
Done.
Yeah, because actually also if the Matildas win the World Cup, then just from an Australian perspective, that is really good because Albo will coordinate amongst the states a national public holiday.
Yes.
And what he'll skewer himself because he'll prove that you can actually coordinate things at a state level through a national level.
For Australia Day.
And then he'll have to bring in things like rent caps and actually do something about how fucked everything is instead of blaming it on the states because he will have done it for a stupid little public holiday.
Or just cede power to Sam Kerr immediately.
Yes.
Would also
Sam Kerr.
Yes.
Put Sam Kerr, Governor General.
Whereas wouldn't that be good? If we lose, particularly to France on the weekend, we might as well just pull the pin.
No, we invade France with the new submarines that we got, not from France. Ha!
That'll do it.
In 40 years.
There's a plan. or never. Hey, thank you, everyone. This was so nice. This actually really made my week, I got to say. We didn't know if anyone would turn up. So thank you for those who did.
Thank you for doing that. And is anyone going to come back next week? Because we're going to do it again at 3 p.m. next Thursday.
100%. I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
Okay, Shane, Ape,
catch you then.
See ya.
See ya. Thank you.
Bye.
Our gear is from Rogue. We are part of the Iconoclast Network.